MRCBF versus MMRCA 2.0, is India becoming the next battleground between USA and France? There is no doubt that Indian military has been a victim of stiffy bureaucracy and deceptive political propaganda which compromised our military preparedness to some extent. Starting from Bofors scam to a fake political conspiracy on $7.8 billion Rafale deal, we have seen the dark side of these activities. However, the lengthy weapon acquisition process is responsible for delays in inducting sophisticated weapons in our military arsenal. Meanwhile, the revised DPP is unable to bring transparency in fast-tracking the signing of major defense deals. We recognize IAF's RFI of inducting 110 URCA to make up with its depleting and aging fleet on one hand, while Indian Navy's struggle for spares of MiG-29K erupted the RFI for 57 MRCBF to equip INS Vikrant on the other hand. With an estimate of $30 billion and demand of 167 fighters in one of the world's largest lucrative defense market, it has attracted major aerospace hubs to grab the deal at any cost. Definitely, every competitor won't let it lose. The major competitors, among which American F-16 Block 70 and F-18 Russian Su-35 and MiG-29K, French Rafale, Eurofighter Typhoon and Saab Gripen are competing for these deals. As it's a multi-billion-dollar tender and both military wings want twin-engine jets due to its advantage over the single-engine bird, the option of competition seems to be tough between two countries, and they are USA and France. Let me give you details why rest of the fighters will get rejected at the first phase of testing. Saab Gripen is a top-class fighter having great ASA and ground capability but a single-engine plane. So, India has more chances of not preferring Gripen for IAF and IN. Fielding Su-35 as a contender under IAF MMRCA tender is a surprising move by the Russians. Both Indian and Russian are in negotiation for Super Sukhoi program. Buying a heavy class fighter under medium class provision won't be a decent choice. Then the next option is EU Typhoon, which IAF won't prefer to choose due to spares issue. Typhoon is built by 4 European nations and the technologies that incorporated with this fighter separately belong to the respective nations. This would be a lengthy process which IAF would definitely eager to avoid. Another drawback of Typhoon is, it doesn't have nuclear delivery option. French Rafale is, however, a viable competitor for both MMRCA and MRCBF deal. Being a twin-engine fighter with a sophisticated ASA radar, powerful EW suite, as well as an awesome BVR capability including nuclear trigger option, both versions of Rafale have a good chance of winning these tenders. Previously, India has bought 36 birds. So, the necessity of acquiring spares won't be a trouble anymore. If India merges these two tenders under one deal, then we would able to see around 140 fighters being made in India, and it will save the time as well as the money. The final contender is Juggernaut USA, which fields both F-16 and F-18 for MMRCA while Floor 18E for MRCBF. F-16 has been upgraded with some 4.5 generation tech, and after signing of COMCSA, it will give access to their advanced communication systems. But F-16 lacks twin-engine capability, leaving only American F-18 to contests with Rafale. We need to remember that IAF doesn't feel comfortable with USA's end-user agreement, and F-18 was also failed in first 2 phases of testing under MMRCA 1.0 tender a decade ago. Looking at the upgrades, F-18 can sign positive for naval MRCBF deal. Moreover, it will be a headache for India to operate MiG-29K and Floor 18E from one platform. This will cause tensions among the 3 nations over data sharing and espionage issues. The interoperability may not get achieved by acquiring F-18. The complexity over acquiring S-400 system and F-18 together may complicate US interest. The future acquisition of S-400 and S-500 batteries will be a boiling point for Indo-USA relations, which is likely to affect F-18 entry into Indian military arsenal. But Americans are factual about grabbing major defense deals at any cost. They could put more pressure on India to sign both these deals with their company. They either intend to play another tactic with a condition to buy the electromagnetic aircraft launch system under F-18 sale to India. With such provision, it will be a tough situation for our military planners to choose the right partner. Therefore, many developments are going to happen. Americans have high stakes in India and they won't take a deep breath unless both the deals get signed with their companies. The two major American aviation giants, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, are set to have $94 and $45 billion assets compared to Dassault Aviation's $5 billion. Their superiority in media and diplomacy management with US Congress and State Department would definitely plan to sabotage Dassault efforts to win these tenders. If Americans lost out to $30 billion deal, then it could be a huge financial loss for them in the history of their military sale to the rest of the world. Once the tender of 167 fighters is gone to non-American hand, could result shutting down of F-16 and F-18 production forever. That's why it's expected that India to witness political and diplomatic battle between USA and France in near future. If French wins the tender, then hope Donald Trump won't get freaked out like former British Prime Minister David Cameron when Typhoon lost to Rafale in the final of MMRCA 1.0 competition. Therefore, let's hope for the best and the deal gets signed with the suitable bidder as soon as possible with 0% of delay and bureaucratic hurdles. Written by HIMANSU SWAIN for mytakeidrw.org.